Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited because today I am going to be giving you guys an update on all the products that I purchased from the Sephora shop with me, which was the last video that I did. And so I've had a couple days with them. I've really made a point to use this set of products pretty much every single day. So I have pretty solid thoughts on everything here. Yes, including this expensive bad boy, the Tom Ford fragrance. I'm also obviously not wearing any makeup on my face. I am going to be putting most of these products on so that you can actually see them in action, because I find that's always the most helpful. And I hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video and subscribe if you want to join the fam. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So first things first, before we get into the foundation, I am going to prep my skin with the Biossance Squalane and Vitamin C Rose Oil. This has been my current favorite skin prepper when it comes to doing my makeup. I've been using this a ton lately, so I figured I would mention it in today's video. I just find that this is a really nice lightweight oil. Doesn't lean too oily, and it just really hydrates the skin super nicely. So I bought two different foundations in my little shopping spree: the Sephora Best Skin Ever Longwear Foundation, as well as the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot Caffeine Concealer and Foundation. Okay, wait, let me start off with this guy. Now, I am typically really good at just deciding on whether or not I like a foundation. Either I like it or I don't. There are very few products that just land in the middle for me, because if it's not perfect, then I don't like it. But this product really just lands right in the middle for me. So the main reason why I'm pretty undecided about this foundation is because I do feel like this does look really pretty on the skin overall. Like when you look at me from afar, my skin actually looks quite pretty with this foundation on. It gives a really nice natural finish, but with a little bit of a glow. It has really great coverage as well, and it does look lightweight and just fresh on the skin. However, when you get a little bit closer, I find that this kind of separates and also accentuates texture on the skin. Not super heavily, but enough where I definitely do notice it. And so again, it's not enough where I feel like I can't wear this foundation, but it's just enough where I'm just like, I don't know about you, man. I don't know if I could have you enter my life full time. So needless to say, I'm gonna put it on so you guys can see what it looks like. So this product does definitely have really good coverage, and I find that one full pump, this is one full pump, will cover my entire face with no problem. And the shade that I got, 10N, also matches me so perfectly, which was definitely a huge win considering I totally just guessed. So that was pretty good, but I'm gonna go in with this Huda Beauty double-ended brush and just apply this all over my face. So with this product, because it is pretty full coverage, I like to just evenly distribute it before I start blending it in. Otherwise, I'll just get too much coverage in one place, and just start blending. Like, how good is that color match though? This is why I'm so confused, you guys. Today, it actually looks really, really good on the skin, and it's not really accentuating the texture horribly. But then there were other days where I felt like it did. So again, I just don't know, and that's why I'm so undecided about this foundation, because there's some instances where it just actually looks really, really pretty, and then there are other instances where I'm just like, I can do without it. So frustrating. So because I do have a second foundation here and I really want to show you guys what it looks like as a foundation, I'm actually going to take this off and put this on. I am committed to giving you guys solid reviews, and if that means making my skin a little bit angry, I'll do it. I'll do it for you, and that's love. Let's talk about the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot Concealer and Foundation. So as the name says, this is a concealer and foundation, and I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. You can use any foundation as a concealer. Concealer is kind of foundation, you know? And if you have a product that you feel like works well underneath your eyes, go for it, man. Also, you can use concealer as foundation too. I do that all the time. I actually used to do that often with the Tarte Shape Tape because it just had such good coverage. And sometimes on like my more light coverage makeup days, I would use it basically as a foundation all over my face. And so this is just marketed as both. But just know you could use pretty much all concealers and all foundations as both too. So first of all, I expected that this would smell like coffee. Very disappointed to say it doesn't, which is probably a good thing. But because this is called the Caffeine Concealer, I was like, oh my God, is my face gonna smell like a espresso? So this is definitely a very creamy product. and it does have some pretty good coverage to it. Again, I also killed the shade match for this. This is light 150 and it matches me pretty perfectly. What I do really like about this product is the consistency. Like I said, it is a very, very creamy consistency that I find looks very, very flattering on the skin, and it does also have some pretty good coverage to it as well. It's a solid medium, maybe even full coverage, I would say. So I'm just gonna put this on so you guys can kind of get an idea of what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. So this does have a doe foot applicator, so you can kind of just dot it on your face like this. So here's what the foundation looks like all blended out. I'll show you guys a nice little close-up. And honestly, guys, I like this so much more than the Best Skin Ever foundation because I actually find that this applies a lot smoother on the skin. I do feel like this one does have a little bit more coverage to it, and because of that, I find that it kind of gives the skin a bit more of a flawless effect, and it also just makes my skin look really smooth. I also think this is even more flattering on the texture on my skin, especially over here. I mean, I think it's interesting to see both foundations back to back because I mean, I definitely noticed quite a big difference between the two. I think that this texture of this foundation just works a lot better on my skin, and I just think overall, I just really like this product. Like, this could be a foundation that I could see myself wearing often. And I also like the fact that it has, again, more of a natural finish, doesn't lean too dewy, too matte, it just looks like skin. I do actually like this more as a foundation than I do as a concealer. As a concealer, I'm kind of meh about it. Like, there's definitely other concealers that I feel like look a little bit more flattering underneath my eyes. I think because it is a little bit of a creamier, thicker texture, it works well on the entire face. Underneath the eyes, it does look sometimes a little bit heavy. The only downside that I would say to a product like this, if you are going to be using it as a foundation, is the fact that you just don't get a lot of product. And if you're using this on your entire face, you're probably going to go through it pretty quickly. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. So because I have this here, I'm just going to use this underneath my eyes as well. And just using the other side of my Huda brush just to buff this out. Obviously, between these two foundations, I do think that the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot is my favorite. However, I do still like the Sephora Best Skin Ever, but I feel like I just kind of need to play around with it a little bit more. And I also think that this may be more suited for when my skin just isn't quite as textured, maybe in the summertime. So moving on now to the Kosas powder products. So excited about these. We have the setting powder from Kosas, which is brand new. It's called the Cloud Set Powder, and this one is in the shade Feathery. Looks like this. Also another perfect shade match. Thank you very much. Then we have the Kosas bronzer in medium golden bronze. Now, I got so many comments on my shop with me of people being like, Jamie, I wish I could have spoken to you through the screen because the medium shade is going to be way too dark for you. The light shade would definitely have been a lot better. And when I got this in the mail, that was the exact thought that I had. I was like, oh, shit. This looks really, really dark. And I was a little bit concerned. And I will say, I do think at my current level of skin tone, the lighter shade probably would have sufficed, but this still works. I'm still able to make it work, and I'll show you guys how. But let's first talk about this powder. I am obsessed, you guys. I actually used this on Instagram Live, and I actually used it on top of the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation, and it was kind of a bad skin day for me. My texture was really like poppin', and I zoomed in on Instagram Live and I put on the powder, and so many of you guys actually told me that the powder like completely smoothed out the texture and made such a big difference, and I agreed. This powder just does such a beautiful job of kind of airbrushing the skin and making it look really smooth. What I do really like about this is that it is a very, very sheer powder. This is not like a powder that's really going to give you any coverage. It's really mainly there just to kind of set your makeup or to kind of give a bit of a smoothing effect to your skin. And honestly, these types of powders are my favorites because I feel like they just do what they need to do, but they don't look heavy on the skin. They actually make your skin look better. So I zoomed you guys in even more so you could really see the texture of my face and hopefully what this powder can do for it. So I'm just gonna take it on a fluffy brush. This is a Sigma tapered face. And I'm just gonna pick up some of the powder and just kind of sweep it on basically my entire face. And what I also like about this is that it does not get rid of the glow of my face. You see the glow? It's still totally there. Amazing. A powder that doesn't make my skin matte, will set my foundation, and actually smooth my skin is a dream powder for me. And this powder is it, guys. It's so good. I can tell immediately that this is going to be a staple in my collection. I really, 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 really like it. So this powder is great. Now let's talk about the bronzer. For whatever reason, I expected that this would be like the bronzer of my dreams. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. And it's just not. This is what I would like to call more of a topper bronzer. This isn't my personal favorite type of bronzer to go to for an all over bronze look. And the reason being is because this is a very, very glowy product, almost like highlighter glowy. Now, I don't mind bronzers that have shimmer. I just don't really love putting them all over my face. Typically with a product like this, I actually enjoy using it almost as a topper on top of a more matte bronzer, because that way I feel like I have more control of where this type of glow is going, but some people do. So if you do, then you would probably really like this. Now, like I said, this color is too dark for me, but I do feel like this is going to match me really nicely when I am a little bit more tan, potentially in the summertime, but I am still able to make this work. I'm gonna take a very fluffy brush. This is a NARS 13 brush. I'm just going to pick up some of the product and really like tap off the excess and just apply it wherever I would typically bronze. You can see it totally works. Like, it doesn't look too orange or too deep on me. Thank you all for being concerned for my bronzer well-being, but we're good. We're good. And the color is actually really pretty. It's definitely very warm. And it gives a really nice sun-kissed look. What I will say is that even though this is a very glowy, somewhat sparkly bronzer, it doesn't look completely over the top when you apply it everywhere. So again, it's not like my personal preference, but it still works. So I totally see myself still using this bronzer, but again, more as that topper and less as an all over bronzer look. But it's pretty. So now let's talk about the Say highlighter. This is the Glowy Super Gel Star Glow highlighter. First of all, I did not expect that it would come in this large of a package. For whatever reason, I thought that it would be maybe this big. So definitely a lot bigger than I expected. That's what she said. So this is essentially a liquid highlighter, comes at a pump, and this is meant to either apply on its own, pinpointed on certain areas of the face, on top of the foundation, underneath the foundation, mixed in with your foundation, or even mixed in with your skincare. And it's supposed to just give your skin a nice glow. So what I really like about this product is that it's a very lightweight consistency. It's not even gel-like, it's even lighter than gel. It almost feels like water when you blend it into the skin, and it just blends so nicely. And I do really like the finish that it gives the skin. It gives a really nice soft glow, nothing too over the top or too like wet or glossy looking. And I do also really like the fact that there's not shimmer in here, because I do feel like it makes it more versatile. You could totally mix this in with like your skincare on a no makeup day, and you're not gonna have a face full of shimmer. So with all that being said, I do really like this product. I've been using it mainly as like a pinpointed highlight on the tops of my cheekbones, and I just really love how glossy it makes my skin look. Because of the texture, it's so easy to just melt into the skin, and it just looks like glow. It doesn't even look like I'm really wearing a highlighter. It just looks like my skin is wet. So I've been putting it on the tops of my cheekbones like this, just kind of a little bit above my brow, kind of just putting the glow back into my face, even on my nose. So I will absolutely be continuing to use this. I can actually see myself using this quite often in my everyday routine. Okay, I zoomed you guys in a little bit because now it's time to talk about the one product that I honestly really don't like from this entire haul, and it is the Milk Makeup Color Chalk in Hula Hoop. I was really excited about this because I just found that it was a really innovative and cool product. What it basically is it's a pigment stick. So they call it color chalk, but it's a stick of pigment. It's wrapped in paper packaging, and the whole idea is that you're supposed to peel off the paper packaging, as you kind of use it, and it gets lower and lower and lower, and it's just supposed to be an easy like swipe on type of product on your cheeks, on your eyes, and on your lips. Now, I will absolutely give credit where credit is due, and I do think it's pretty cool that Milk Makeup is making efforts towards making products that have a lot less packaging. I think that is awesome, but it's not the packaging that bothers me. I actually don't mind this paper packaging at all. I just feel like the product itself just misses the mark. I don't think it's very good. I've only really been using it on my eyes because this color, I don't really find would be super flattering on the cheeks or on the lips. It's kind of like a metallic lilac shade. The eyeshadow itself is actually really pretty. I do really like this kind of lilac silvery color. I think it's super, super nice, but I just kind of find it to be a little bit annoying and difficult to use to get an even layer of pigment on the lid. And I also would imagine that if you drop this, you would probably break it really easily, which kind of concerns me just a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, show you guys how it applies. Basically, you kind of just swipe it on the lid. And I actually find that it doesn't really apply on the lid as well as it does apply like on a flatter surface like the hand, because it's a very, very dry formula. Like this is not a creamy powder at all, so it doesn't like glide on easily. It literally does feel kind of like chalk, so I guess the name kind of fits. But you see how it just doesn't really apply super evenly on my lids, and I kind of have to go over it and over and over it. That's my issue with it. And even if I went in with like a brush and I picked up the product from the brush, it barely picks anything up because it's such a stiff formula. Something that I did kind of play around with though is using MAC Fix Plus with this product because it is so dry. I feel like MAC Fix Plus is really the only thing that would revive it, and it does actually make a difference. So what I did was I sprayed some MAC Fix Plus on the back of my hand, kind of dipped the product in there, and then use that to apply, and it definitely does create a way more intense metallic effect, and it makes the product definitely a lot better. So if you do have this product and you find it a little bit underwhelming, use a fixing spray like MAC Fix Plus or really any type of setting spray, and it definitely does create more metallic intensity to the color. But even with that, I'm still just not a fan. Like I would just so much rather just take a normal powder eyeshadow and swipe it on my lid without all of that trouble and get pretty much the exact same effect. So for me, this was just kind of a fail. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly apply some mascara and I'm gonna do my brows, and then we'll discuss the remaining products. So this is the new Rare Beauty kind of like lip gloss, lip balm formula. And this one is in the shade Nearly Apricot. So I'm gonna put it on and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. So as you guys can see, this particular shade at least is very, very, very sheer. There's not a ton of punchy color to it, but it does give a nice wash to the lips just to give a little bit of something. I would say the texture is probably the best thing about this lip gloss. It's a very buttery, silky feeling on the lips, which I love, especially when it comes to a gloss. It's not sticky in the slightest. It honestly feels just as comfortable as a lip balm. I don't really feel like this is a total must-have from the Rare Beauty collection. If you are looking for something that's super sheer and wearable and has a really nice texture, then you would probably really like this, but I don't know, it doesn't like blow me out of the water in any other way other than that really nice texture. Like it's not super glossy. The color is just kind of, you know, it's there, it's nice, but it's not mind-blowing. You know, I think it's important to kind of not have this one ideal for a certain type of product. Like not every product can check all the boxes. There needs to be some variety in textures and finishes because not everybody likes the same thing. So I don't want to compare every single product to this specific standard, but it's more so I just want to tell you guys how this product performs, and then you can decide for yourself whether or not it kind of fits your own personal standard. For me, if I'm going to wear a gloss, I personally want it to be a little bit glossier and almost like wet looking on lips, just because that's what I prefer. But again, if you are just wanting something really light, everyday appropriate, this is pretty. So that is everything for all of the makeup products that I got. So now let's talk about the perfume, the hair oil, and the cleanser that I picked up. So I picked up this Skin Fix cleanser. I'll put a picture right over here to show you exactly which one I got. So while I was shopping, I was looking for a cleanser that would work really well for taking my makeup off. So I picked this one up because the reviews seem to be really, really good, and I like the price of it as well. And I love this cleanser. It is so freaking good. First of all, it feels so good on the skin. You know those like super creamy cleansers that just kind of feel like they're actually moisturizing your skin and not stripping it? That's this guy. Like it really just feels very nourishing, and it really doesn't feel like it's stripping at all. But it's also really effective at actually getting rid of all of my makeup, which is pretty amazing. So I've been using it every single night to take my makeup off, and I just find that it works like a charm. It really works very, very well. And I don't even really find that when I go in with my second cleanse that there's even a lot of makeup left over, which is amazing, especially considering how gentle it feels on the face. So that guy is definitely an A++++, 10 on 10, would recommend. I love it. Then we have the hair oil. oil. This is the Day Prickly Pear Hair Oil. So I'm gonna put it in my hair right now because I actually don't have really anything in my hair. I'm gonna take one pump, which is what I've been doing, and I put it all over my entire hand, and then I just run it through my hair. When it comes to a hair oil, really the only thing that I'm looking for is something that isn't so heavy that it weighs down my hair, but also something that obviously gets the job done, that does make my hair look a little bit shinier. And I feel like this definitely does do the trick. It doesn't weigh down my hair at all. It doesn't make it look greasy, and it does add some nice shine to it. I do also really like the scent of it. I like that it's not totally overwhelming. A lot of hair products can be very fragrant. This is like just a nice, soft, almost like gentle pear smell. It just kind of makes my hair look shiny, which is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, it was good. I really don't have much else to say about this guy. It kind of just works. So it is time to talk about the Tom Ford fragrance. So obviously, if you watched my shop with me, I did purchase a Tom Ford fragrance that I never smelt before, which was definitely a risky move because these things are very expensive. I ended up picking up tobacco vanilla, or is it vanilla tobacco? I picked it up in the smallest size available, and it was still $80 Canadian. So here's what it looks like. It's pretty classic Tom Ford packaging. I really love the fact that it has a magnetic top. I love me my magnets. Now, what I noticed right away when I took this cap off was how strong this fragrance is. Like, this is a fragrance. So when I first sprayed this on myself, I hated it, and so many regrets just enveloped my body. It was so strong and overpowering, and it just wasn't the fragrance that I had imagined. Now, vanilla tobacco is definitely a really good way to describe this fragrance because that really is exactly what it smells like. But for whatever reason in my head, it was a different version of vanilla tobacco that I was expecting. But I gave it some time and I let it simmer. And that's when I started to actually really, really love this perfume. So I find this perfume just gets significantly better once it actually sits and settles on your skin. And I even put on some clothes on like the following day that I had sprayed perfume on. And when I put the clothes on and I got like a whiff of the fragrance, I was like, oh my God, I smell amazing. So needless to say, it's definitely a very strong fragrance, but once it settles down onto the skin, it's actually quite nice and complex. It really doesn't smell like anything else that I have in my collection. It doesn't smell like a basic vanilla perfume at all. It's like a little bit sweet, but very woodsy and a little bit smoky at the same time. There's a lot going on. And I would imagine that even if you are using this every day, but you're just using one spray, it will last you a long time. And if you put on some clothes that you know, like, maybe haven't been washed but have a little bit of this perfume still on them, you don't even need to spray it again. That's how long it lasts. So at first I was definitely a little bit scared that I would regret it, but turns out I actually really like the fragrance. So yay. No regrets here. Hey guys, so it's just about 8 p.m. It's probably been about 6 hours since I put on the makeup, and I wanted to give you a quick little update on what my skin is looking like, just to show you the wear of the foundation. And as you can see, it's worn really beautifully. It's definitely worn off in a couple areas, but that's just normal. I've been wearing masks, obviously. But overall, my skin just looks really fresh still. And then besides that, look at the eyeshadow. It's completely rubbed off. It like did not even stay at all. It's so blotchy. I don't remember the last time I had eyeshadow do that to me. Normally, I never have any issues with the eyeshadow like staying on my lid, but that did not stay even a little bit. So crazy. That's it. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update just to show you how everything's wearing as a little bonus. Bye. So that is it. Those are all of my reviews on everything that I purchased during my shop with me. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments again if you've tried anything here and what your reviews and your thoughts are on the products. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, and subscribe if you are not subscribed already. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.